Nice. All right. Okay, we're on live. Just getting me Instagram live on. There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in for another live stream this week. Hey, I've got a special guest from Sydney, Australia. His name is Ivy Sardi. Have I said that right,
You
mate?
have, bro. You have said it right.
Oh, awesome. Well, I just want to say welcome to the YouTube channel and my other platforms where I'm streaming this. Um, I think, while we're sort of waiting for people, let's just, I'll let you take the floor actually. People will start jumping on soon. And tell us how you got to where you are right now and sort of what led you up to this point in life. Speaking particularly about carnivore and what you're doing on social media.
Um, what led me to this would have been obviously my path that I had.
Hmm.
That dark side. It led me to the light, so to speak. Being
Hmm.
being a drug user, being a drug addict. Being being an ex-crim, leading into
Hmm.
that sort of lifestyle. I wasn't always about health and wellness and all this sort of stuff. I was far the opposite. I was unhealthy, I was doing, the wrong things and things like that. But it it had to happen for me to foresee the change, which, it led me to jail. But jail is where I seen the light. That is where
Hmm.
this whole new, revolution of myself began. It began in there.
Wow.
Started training, started eating healthy, started looking after myself, started changing everything, started drilling in discipline into my routine. And that I've carried out into the real world and pursued working on myself and for the
Hmm.
better. And then showing other people that the discipline, the routine, the structure, the nutrition, the mindset, that all plays a huge role in your life, no matter where you are, no matter what situation you're in. Those fundamental things play a huge role in everything.
Yep.
And leading into that, obviously, my way through nutrition was carnivore. Um, and yeah, I just jumped straight into it. Like, I think I've been, what, 2 years now? Yeah, I'd say 2 years, like
2
strict
years.
Yeah, 2 years strict
Gee.
carnivore.
Woo.
Um,
Well done.
yeah, it's crazy. Like now, obviously, we keep learning about it. We talk about the adaptive phase and all this. And when I try and remember back then, I'm like, I don't remember, bro. I just dived in, ate my red meat dived in every day, ate my red meat. Like I don't remember nothing. I just ate my red meat. That was it. I was just stuck to it.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, that's the little like background story how I really dug into it. Um, I had to find ways that I needed to repair my body from all the damage I've done
Mm.
outside, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, but also within. I was super, super unhealthy. Like you couldn't
Mm.
imagine how unhealthy my lifestyle was, what I was doing to my body. Um, I ended up, I ended up going to hospital when I got arrested because I had a bit of I had an incident when I got arrested. I had a seizure. Had really bad head trauma and stuff like that, and went to the hospital and went in ICU for about a week.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a bit traumatic. I didn't wake up until the fourth day, third day or fourth day. So they thought I might not wake up. So it was pretty serious. Um, and while that was happening, obviously you get reports and all that. Then later,
Mm.
obviously coming out, after I'd done all my jail and shit like that, I actually went back and read the reports because I wanted to see, what did they do? What did they test? What did they see? And it actually said that I had heaps of ulcers and stuff inside my intestines and stuff like that. I had
Wow.
a lot of inside issues, and that would have been from the substance use, the abuse, unhealthy, you name it. You know what I mean? And now
Mm.
being on that carnivore, it's healed. I don't have any issues. Everything's really, really good. So that's another.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy because you can only imagine what would have been in the drugs, the substances, and the heavy use of what it would have been doing to my body.
Mm.
um and then obviously just cutting it all out, and now just not even just eating healthy would have probably done some amazing stuff, but you and me know the power of the carnivore. I think it just would have excelled it to the next level.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Um.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Hmm. Let's look. I've got a lot of questions to ask, but I want to start from from a timeline here, and let's go with I guess earlier on the piece, and I'm just taking a stab here, mate. But you look like a young man yourself. You're you know not many years in this earth. Could be the carnivore, could be uh another secret out there, but um when did it all kick off, the unhealthy lifestyles going into, I guess you could, if you want to go down the path of what led you to being convicted in jail?
yeah, so I'm 31 now. I
Oh,
would say,
young.
yeah, I would say, I think my early 20s would have sort of like just dabbled in it. It that
Okay.
that I and that's pretty late for most people. Most people do it in their teens,
Yeah.
even having a drink. I never had my,
Yeah. Yeah.
a first drink or all that sort of stuff in my teens. I
Wow.
didn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very like
Mm.
adamant. I was just going to be sober my whole life. I was
Yeah.
just adamant.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. Um, but uh, lifestyle changes, environments, different groups of people, moving around, things like
Yeah.
that influences heavily on your outcome. And I always do say, you're a byproduct of your environment. No matter
Yeah.
how long you're there for, where it is, what it is, you eventually will become that product wherever you are. If you're
Right.
sitting
Right.
there long enough, you know what I mean? If you're
Long
sitting there
enough.
long
Yeah.
enough, you will become that environment or the people around you and things like that. And that's basically what happened. Um, so in the early
Mm.
20s, just dabbling. It was just social things. Wanted to be more social, go out, impress the girls, the lifestyle. That's how it was, and that's how it all started. It was never meant to be anything like that. It was just meant to be for trying to look good, impress, pick up the girls, go out clubbing,
Yeah.
and things like that. And that's how it all sort of started at that early age in the 20s.
Yeah.
um and then it just, yeah, it just it just didn't stop.
So from the 20s, I guess once you got into this lifestyle, were you at all like health conscious, knowing because whilst you were still doing the drugs and whatnot, you did you still go to the gym, did you train, did you exercise or whatnot, or
I did that, like, well, my whole childhood, teens, I actually played soccer and basketball.
nice.
I played representative soccer, representative basketball. Traveled over in America a couple times. Played over in like tournaments and
Wow.
schools and things like that. So um, I was pretty athletic. That was my thing. I was athletic. I was super quick. I could dunk a basketball. I'm not that tall. I'm only 5'10". So had some
Oh
sprint, had some
wow.
hop,
Yeah.
got some
You
hops in
did.
me. Um, so I always thought I was going to be some sort of sports person, no matter what it
Yeah,
was. I
yeah,
thought I was going to be something sports because I know I'm quick, I'm athletic, that I can put my, talent to use. I always
yeah,
had that
yeah,
in the back of my mind growing up. Always played sports and things like that. But then, you know, that sort of era finished, and you got into the gym. You started getting a bit older.
yeah,
You want to go to the gym. You want to be a bit of a jack dude, a
yeah,
jack
yeah,
20 year
yeah.
old. Like everyone does. So I got into that, it was cool. It was mad. So I was heavily into that before, and then that lifestyle takes over. It starts to take away from you slowly, slowly, slowly. You stop doing it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
stop, and that's literally what happened. You slowly stop eating as healthy. You slowly don't go to the gym
right.
as much, and then it just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, it's just interesting, man, because I know the gym culture here in Australia is huge,
Yeah, yeah.
and bodybuilding here is quite big. I mean, any sort of strength sport, it's it's a big staple here in Australia, and there are a lot of people that get into the gym and into that lifestyle as well.
Mm.
And there's also a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misinformation that goes on within the fitness industry as well. And I bring it up because I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we can probably dabble into that in a bit, but I'm just sort of
Yeah.
getting my
So
time frames here. So when did you? I guess when were you arrested or got convicted?
I was I was arrested. I Top of my head, I think 2021, end of 2021.
Okay,
I think my memory's super bad around that time,
yeah,
mate.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, 20, I think end of 2021.
End of 2021. All right.
Yeah, yeah, end of 2021. It's crazy because
Okay.
it feels like a lifetime ago, but then sometimes it feels
Ye-
like it was just
Well, it
yesterday.
does.
Like it's
Yeah.
really weird. Like that event, that sort of that time frame in my life. It's crazy the way the mind works, and I obviously
Yeah.
do think, obviously, of course, of that incident. I can't remember sort of just before it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Fair
I
enough.
struggle to remember just before it, but yeah, that time frame was 2021, and what's now 2024.
24.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, like it's just crazy in itself thinking about it when you map it out.
Yeah. And considering that you've been carnivore for 2 years as well, um, I'm curious to know, did you hear about the carnivore diet in jail or when did
Uh,
you?
when did I hear about it? I didn't hear about it in jail. So while I was in jail, um, I did try and eat your typical healthy,
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
clean foods. Because while I was in there, obviously I hadn't trained for such a long time. I probably didn't train for at least, I reckon, 3 or 4 years before going in. So I was just, drugs and just super unhealthy for, 4 or 5 years, and then went to jail. And then obviously in there, like I was like, I got to, I got to start training.
Do
And
something. Yeah. Yep. Fair
oh,
enough.
bro, it was so hard. It was so hard just to like do push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Oh, like struggling, bro. Like I'm talking, trying to do like two or three, and I was just like dying, like I was weak, shaking, like just dead, bro.
Dude, I can imagine too, because there would have been a bunch of gym rats there too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like the boys are doing like big circuits, burpees, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, little jogs in the yard coming back. And I was just like, bro, I can't fucking do this shit, bro. And the boys like, bro, just trust me. Just you do as much as you can every day. Just keep coming, keep coming. I'm like, bro, I can't do this. Like, I haven't done this sort of stuff in such a long time. He's like, just keep doing it. And I just kept doing it. I just kept coming every day, like little bit, like by little bit. And bro,
Yeah,
finally
yeah.
enough. funnily enough, I don't know what happened. Time flew by and you forget about it and you're just busting it. You're doing 200, 300, 400 burpees, like you're just killing it.
Wow. Nice,
um,
nice.
and then obviously in there, eating as healthy as you can,
Yep.
which was basically tuna and rice.
Oh, true. Okay.
Not much.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically tuna and rice. I wouldn't get junk food. I wouldn't eat anything like that. I was just
Nice.
basically sticking to the tuna. Yeah.
And did you oh, and I've got to ask, man. So tuna and rice was a staple. What sort of stuff would they be serving you?
Okay, so normally you'll get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner served from them.
Mm.
Breakfast could be anything from cereal, which could be cornflakes, cocoa pops, like just
Okay. Standard.
yeah,
Yeah.
standard things. You know what I mean? And your milk. Um, Lunches they'll probably do like sausage rolls, meat pies, um, just those sort of things, like basics
Yeah.
things. Dinner sometimes you might get some hot chicken wings and rice, or
Okay. Yeah.
maybe like a flatbread, some salami and some cheese to make a pizza and things like that.
Yep. Yep.
But then you've obviously got your food that you can buy, so your buyouts, which you can
Yep.
buy
Yep.
every week. So normally most of the boys will eat that, and that other food is just that the leftovers, the emergency food
Whatever's
that you can
there.
have. Is yeah. So it wasn't too bad.
No. Okay.
Yeah, well, it
Um.
wasn't too bad. You know what I mean? Like you can make do with the food in there plus whatever you get. It's not that bad.
Oh, absolutely. But it's just it still trips me out that that's where your health journey started. Like
Yeah.
that's where it all started. I guess the exercise and the gym culture would have been the hook. In terms of nutrition, when did you start to get into the carnivore diet? Because that's another. I guess we're moving on to that part now. Like, how did you go from you know being taught to what the standard advice is, eat a mixed macro diet, count calories,
Yeah.
tuna and rice, which is considered healthy. How did you go from that to carnivore? Because that's a completely different world. And I guess at that time as well, it would have been pumping on social media about carnivore and whatnot. So
Um, I've when I used to obviously train, and when I first come out, I obviously was like, oh, I need to keep doing this. I need to keep training. I need to keep, I need to keep the rhythm going. You know what I mean? I've done such a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Keep the pattern going. So then went obviously back to a normal gym again, which felt amazing instead of doing push-ups and body
mm,
weight all the time. So that was good. But then I was like, oh, I need to get jacked. Let's do the 5 meals a day, 6 meals a day. Let's pump the calories. Let's get the big shakes in there. Let's get the big calorie cookies. And I was doing that, and then I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. Something got over me. I was over it. I was getting real watery, bit puffy. Like I got big, but not athletic and not
yeah,
muscle definition. I just got big.
mm,
Um,
yeah,
and I've always been into and studying parasites and detoxing. So
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
led me down the path of looking at different alternatives like carnivore. So I started looking into that because where I found information where I was studying for parasites and detoxes, I keep coming across like carnivore. So then I
yeah,
was just
yeah,
like, you know what, this something about it seems right. I don't know what it is, but something about it seems right. Just eating meat. Then I started
yeah,
studying about really old tribes, African tribes,
yeah,
stuff back in the 1800 BC, all that sort of stuff, long, long time ago. Started really diving into that stuff,
yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'll eat 3 meals a day. I'm just going to have kangaroo. So I just ate kangaroo breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
And the body um and I felt good. I felt amazing.
Hang on, buddy. Sounds just cut off.
Better?
Hello? Yeah, got it. Yep.
So one of the one of the boys keeps calling.
Oh, oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so like I didn't see a big difference in the mirror personally, but everyone else keeps saying like bro, like you're changing quick. Like what are you doing? What's going on? I'm like, I'm just eating meat, and just people were going crazy. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm just eating meat. They're like, oh, but
Yeah,
what about
yeah,
like what else? I'm like, no, I'm just eating meat. They're like, nothing else, no salads, no. I said, literally, 500 grams of whatever meat I'll get. That is my one meal. I'll have it again for lunch
yeah.
and I'll have it again for dinner. They're like, so just meat. I'm like, literally just meat. And people just can't fathom it. They don't understand it. And then I've just
No,
done it ever since. And you know, I look the best I've ever been. I feel the best. That's my most important thing that I like to
absolutely.
say. I feel the best I've ever felt.
Yep,
I
yep.
fast. I do a lot of big fasting. I do a lot of big like 4, 5, 6 day fasting.
Wow.
Um,
Really?
yeah. I do a lot of big ones. I feel amazing. I feel great. I incorporate 24-hour fast. I feel good. You know, I go pump good big heavy gym sessions or like strength conditioning training sessions like a 45
Mm.
circuit training with no
Yeah.
food. And people look at me going, because I tell them, I'm like, I haven't eaten. And they're like, what? How have you put that output in this session and you haven't eaten? I'm like, bro, just try it. Like it's a different ball game. You don't have all that energy wasted in digestion while you're trying to train. Let it go elsewhere. Let it put it out in the performance, and you'll see the difference. Some people can't
Yep,
like
yep.
just don't believe you. Like they're just like
No.
yeah, it's crazy until you do it. So once I
Yep.
started noticing these things, I started noticing my joints, especially my knees, because I've had a knee reco from basketball a long
Mm.
time ago. You know, I'm stiff, I'm getting old, it's sore. I couldn't kneel, could never kneel on the floor, could never cross my legs, could never
Mm.
squat, could never do squats. I always avoided it or changed my training to not squat. You know, I'd do all the little exercises to build it up.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Bro, if you look on my page, bro, I'm back
Yeah, I
squatting
saw you
150.
squatting. Yeah.
I'm back
Yeah.
squatting 150, 160, no pain.
Wow.
No pain
That's
at
crazy.
all. Yeah, like I'm not saying I'm a big heavy lifter. I'm just saying like from someone who never ever squat to the start of this year to squatting that with no pain,
Mm.
like that's really good.
That's that's pretty
Do
good.
you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's
Like
really good. Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy. Someone always being in pain to and be afraid of squatting, and now you're doing that, no problems. Now it's just about fundamental building the base up. I said that's you can't beat that sort of results.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
And that I'm still trying to get around it. So you train fasted.
yeah.
I do too. I do too, but not like 3, 4
Not
days. That's
long fast.
crazy.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you, in terms of your performance at the gym, like I
Mhm,
saw you squat, obviously. But do you feel like comparing your training in the past to now, like
mhm.
how is it different?
I just it's hard to explain. Obviously, you would
Mm,
know, but you feel it.
yeah, yeah.
You just feel better. Like
Yeah,
overall,
yeah,
you know, you're getting
yeah.
good sleep. You wake up fresh. There's no brain fog. Like I wake up in the morning. I wake up at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. No alarm, just body clock. But
Nice.
I'm like in bed jittering, going, it's gym time.
you're
Like
you're
I'm
ready
just.
for
Do you know what I
it.
mean? Like I'm ready. Do you know what I mean? Like
Nice.
wake up, cold shower, boom, go to the gym, smash a sesh, feel mad, feel amazing. And then when I do those prolonged fast, I don't, it's also a mental game as well
Yep,
to
yep.
beat that hunger, the hunger hormones and things like that. So, you know, people always ask me, oh, you know, do do you train? Do you not train? Do you take it a bit easy? Well, I said no, because if I start telling myself, hey, you're on day 3, you got to take it a bit easy, you're sending your mind and your signals, you know what I mean? So no, you treat every day the same. You treat it the same. I train, I try to put in the same intensity, whether it comes out or not, that's up to you know, my body, but I do the same things. I still train as hard as I can in those days, and there's most of the times I don't notice the difference being, you know,
That's
4 or
crazy.
5 days fasted or have eaten. So
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy, but I also know, you know, the benefits of fasting, giving your body a break, giving your digestion a
Absolutely.
break. Um,
Yep.
I'm really big on that as well, you know, giving that body the break to let it heal from within instead of wasting all the energy digesting food all the time. Let it start working on other
Absolutely.
things, repairing the cells and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I look, I personally train fasted, and I think that's the way to go for me personally. I know some people prefer not to, but each to their own. Now, when I started training, and since going carnivore, because I used to train before carnivore, I used to do powerlifting,
Yeah,
and
man.
uh, and yeah, when I went carnivore, I had not gone to the gym or trained for 2 years. That's a long story, but anyways, I took time off the gym because I couldn't physically get myself to it. And once I got back to the gym during carnivore, a couple of things I noticed: I was not as thirsty. I used to bring gallons of, I used to bring the big jugs of water, and I'd be downing that water throughout the session. I'd
Yeah.
be sweating. I'd be sweating like crazy. That never happens to me in carnivore. Like
Mm,
I like people say like, yeah, you're not lifting as heavy, but I'm a lot lighter than what I was.
mm.
40 kilos lighter. 40 kilos lighter. So I'm lifting
Wow.
heavier than compared to my body weight. So
Yeah, that's right.
the intensity is there. Like I'm doing full intensity workouts and I'm not breaking a huge sweat. Like, I mean, I'm
Mm.
sweating, but not like when I was pumping the carbs through.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
yeah, the water intake, I noticed that just I don't feel as thirsty. And it's crazy to me that people are running up and down the aisles, getting the water jugs refilled and that stuff. How about you, man? Like, do you still get thirsty? And
I guess because I only drink water. Like I don't drink anything else,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
haven't
Fair enough.
had I haven't had anything else in 2.5 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
truly. Not even dairy, not even milk.
Oh, I actually have like a little bit of kefir, but
Oh, yeah,
apart from
yeah.
fluids or anything, yeah, just water, no
Yeah.
juices, no nothing like that. So yeah, for me, like I carry a bottle with me 24/7, so it's just normal for me.
Normal for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just normal.
No, fair
Um,
enough.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I love it, man. I love training fasted. I love training on carnivore, and it's when people tell me like, well, don't you need carbs for energy? I don't think so, man. We've been doing this for you've been doing it for 2 years. I've been doing it for similar time.
yeah,
Like,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
is, it is crazy. But the other thing too is like when people sort of don't understand the concept where they're like, oh, you need your macros, you need this, and you need carbs. And I said, okay, I said, I'll break it down to into their world where they
yeah,
count
yeah,
calories. I said,
yeah,
um, your 1 gram of carbs and protein is what, four
yeah,
calories each,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. I said,
Nine,
so
yeah, yeah,
in your world, fats give you more calories, which would be more energy output. So why wouldn't you take
yeah, yeah.
fat?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
I
It's
mean, it
double.
makes sense, hey.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
Like if they don't understand our concept, we put it into their concept. I said, so it's got double
yeah.
the expenditure, energy expenditure.
Mm.
So technically you should be getting double energy. So why wouldn't you consider fats? They're like, oh, yeah, true, maybe. I said, trust me, just give it a go.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
It's crazy too. I'm just remembering you're on the kangaroo meat. That's pretty lean.
Yeah, yeah. So I was smashing that kangaroo meat just because I like. Look,
You like it? Like a bit of roux?
let's let's get into this. All right.
Yeah,
For,
go on.
for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe because it was all the drug abuse. I don't know. But bro, like now, it's like I'm just ruthless with my food. I don't know if you've seen, but like I'll eat
Yeah,
raw
you can
meat.
eat.
Like I
Yeah,
went
you
to
can.
I went to that massive there was a big grand opening where I live for a big warehouse of meat.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
told him, I said, yeah, watch this. I just ripped open the meat and I just started eating it. Like I don't know, bro. Like I just don't care. I don't know if there's no taste buds. I don't know if there's a few screw looses still, but like I just
Oh
don't
no,
care.
no,
I just don't
no.
care.
Look. I mean, there are those that do eat raw and then go down that path of going raw carnivore.
Mm,
Um, I'm not a fan, but I do
yeah,
like, if I like my steaks a little bit on the
yeah,
medium rare or
yeah,
medium side sometimes.
yeah.
Um, but so what does the diet look like right now if you were to explain it to someone new? Like, yeah,
For me, probably first meal of the day would probably be. It's around. I'm going to say 11 and 1. Majority of the time, it's around 12 and 1.
what's
There
that?
is that
12 and 1.
my first meal, yeah, between 11 in the morning
Oh,
and 1.
time. Oh, yeah, yep. Oh, wow. Yep, yep.
um, that's normally, there's some days you do get a bit hungry around 11:30. Not many,
Yeah, yeah,
but most of the time it's around 1 o'clock. I might have my first meal. It'll be like either a steak, beef mince, lamb mince. The
yep,
reason why I
yep.
get mince is because I like normally just to put salt through it, and I'll make beef patties or rissoles just
Yeah.
to be different.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I'll do like 500 grams of that, and then dinner's basically the same, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's cool.
that's
Yep.
and that's it. There's not much to it.
Yep, yep. And oh man, it's all cheap too. Like ground mince or
Yeah.
ground beef. That's cheap as like, you know.
Well, I got
I don't
I
know.
got this. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, people say, "Hey, how do you sustain your pocket with carnivore?" Because I mean, the prices of meat right now aren't not cheap.
Mm.
But I'm like, I don't eat ribeyes every day. I don't eat
Yeah.
fancy cuts every day. You could do with the ground beef. Make some rissoles or make beef
Yeah,
patties.
that's right.
Cheap as, yeah.
The easiest way to look at it is like eat what you like because that's going to be the
Mm,
easiest,
yeah,
and you don't always have to get those premium cuts. You work towards your budget because sometimes they're not always got the premium. They don't always have the grass fed, grass finished.
yeah,
Sometimes they run
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
Sometimes the butchers don't have them. Sometimes the butchers only got grain fed, unfortunately. But that is
Mm,
better
mm.
than going to have junk food or pizza or all the other crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So eat what you like and mix up the cuts. That's going to change the prices of your budget and things like that. So that's always going to
Mm,
help.
mm.
And being creative in that changes too.
Yeah,
um you know
absolutely.
I've got heaps of recipes and stuff that I give to my clients, like, and they send me pictures,
Ah,
even like desserts, ice creams, making it yourself. So it's only two ingredients, like ghee and whipped cream, and
yep,
freeze it and
yep.
make, and then you got ice cream, like proper ice cream.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't know,
you
man.
know what I mean? Like
I have the ice cream, and I think, man, I just want the real thing now.
no way,
Yeah.
bro. I'll
Nah.
I'll have to I'll teach you all the ingredients and stuff that's
The
in there,
ingredients?
bro.
All right.
Because I'm heavy, obviously, like I'm in carnivore, but I've got I studied in naturopath as well, so I've got a bit of a
Oh,
background on
okay.
that.
Yep, yep.
That's where I learn a lot of stuff for detoxing, heavy metals, parasite
Yeah,
cleanses as
yeah.
well. So when I do my coaching, I combine the two because, as you and me know, that
Absolutely.
elimination diet is, super successful as well. But then you can still get
100%.
people that are, maybe they haven't got their autoimmune disease or something in remission. It's definitely reduced, but it just hasn't, come down a little bit more. And that's why I incorporate either heavy metals and parasite cleansers, because normally if it's not this, it'll be this. So I put them
Yep.
together.
Yep. Yep. Nice. Nice.
Because most of the things that we can put in remission from carnivore, I can do the same with this as well, with the parasite and detox cleanses as
Right. Right.
well. So when I created my program, we just hammer both of it. Do you know what I mean? So that way,
Wow.
your body will optimize really the nutrition side once you do a big clean out and stuff as well.
Right.
So yeah. I get into it, and big thing is reading ingredients,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
chemicals in there, what they are, know about them, know that one ingredient can have like 500 names.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what they do to your gut microbiome, all those sort of things. So I go into all that. So I'm a big thing on
Nice.
ingredients, but super big on ingredients.
Oh, absolutely. You have to,
Yeah,
especially
you have to now.
yeah, like not. I mean, there's so much on the labels that you kind of have to question. Now that we're in this mind space, or a lot of us that are getting into carnivore, you're in a mind space of trying to keep everything as wholesome as
Hmm.
possible. Even a lot of your raw, your meat
Yeah,
and things that are packaged up. Sometimes it'll have additives in there that you just need to be weary about, like
yeah,
sausages and
yep,
yeah. Oh, but
yeah,
hey,
100%.
I want to back up a little bit here because I really want to touch on this as well.
Sweet.
What led you into coaching, man? Like helping others.
Hmm.
That is something very commendable, and I commend you for that. But what got you into that path? I guess where in the timeline did this all start?
I guess obviously from just working on myself, in jail, then coming out, and then I fell in love again with training and nutrition. I fell in love with the space again.
Mm,
So I continued my journey, and just through my journey, I was like, I can help people. I can help people mentally, emotionally, spiritually, nutrition and training because of what I've been through. I
mm,
know I can help people. So I was
absolutely.
like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to help people because I don't want people to suffer what I suffered with drug addiction. I don't want people to think that they don't have help. I don't want people to think, they're stuck in that situation. So I wanted to teach people that I used fitness and nutrition to pull me out of that space. It
Right.
was never about me looking in the mirror and be like, yeah, sweet, let's get jacked. It's never been about that. It was
Mm,
just a tool to help me get out of the life I was in, and put in discipline, put in routine, put in structure in my life, and then everything else has fallen into place. When I first come out working, I probably wouldn't have kept a job because I would have been all over the place. But that training, waking up early, going to the gym, feeling good, getting in the right mindset, it branched out into my life aspects as well, not just the training. So I use it
mm,
as a tool, and I wanted other people to see that going for a walk or something like that can really change your outlook, your mood, your mindset, and things like that. So that's how it started, and just wanted to always give back. Like my whole life, I've always,
yeah.
I was selfish. I was just take. I put myself in danger. I put other people in danger. So I just wanted to give back and be of service because I
Mm,
found it so rewarding once I started helping people, and the conversations you have with them, and you can see them progress in their life and change. I
yeah.
couldn't put a price on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it feels so good.
Yeah.
It just feels so good when people are calling you on messages and you're, hey, I've seen your videos, I showed it to someone else, and hey, they're going to message you, they need a bit of help. And it just started like that, and it just went off, and I was just getting messages and calls all the time, and I was like, fuck, this is mad. Do you know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
feels so
Yeah.
good. I'm helping people, I'm changing people's lives, um, through any situation, not just particularly on my coaching, but people with addiction, all that sort of stuff. Like, I've got heaps of people out of the situations that I would have went down. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
you can't put a price on it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I
Mhm.
I feel you. 110%. You know, when
Mm,
I started uh, going down this path of coaching, um, you know, with my first client and just seeing the difference from starting point to end point, and not just that, the journey that
mm,
someone goes through when they're trying to make a lifestyle change, trying to break habits, trying to make new habits and change their behavior to ultimately live a sustainable lifestyle is, man, you're right. You can't put a price on it, and it's such a it's a blessing, man. It's such a blessing to be put in this position where, you know, I feel like sometimes I'm not doing much in
yeah,
I'm talking. Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing pills. I'm not, you know, doing these interventions. I'm just talking, and
mm,
I'm coaching,
mm,
and yet the results that you see, not just in, you know, the numbers on the scale, or, you know, the PBs that someone hits.
yeah,
It's just, you know, when I put on that call and hearing their voice and their behavior different from when I first started with them on day dot is, yeah, amazing, man. Love
yeah.
it.
And you can't put a price on it. Like when the clients message you, hey, like I've dropped this rate, or hey, like I've stopped drinking 5 coffees. You like it's
Yeah,
those little
yeah.
things. Like it means a lot because these people are like they are changing their life, and that might be small, but over a long extended period of time of your life, that's going to make a dramatic change.
Mm, mm, mm.
And I always tell my clients, I I always say my emphasis in my coaching in my program is not the body transformation, is not dropping 10 kilos.
Mm.
That's not my emphasis. I said that will happen along the way, and that's an added
Yeah,
benefit.
yeah.
But my
Yep.
emphasis is to give you a better quality of life for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Mm,
That's the
mm.
stuff I want to work on. That's the stuff that I will teach you and implement and give you the knowledge so you can pass on to your family, your kids, and things like that.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, like it's just I'm real big believer on education as well,
Yeah, yeah,
passing it on. Because I tell clients, I said like my program isn't a program where I'm just gonna write you up a meal plan and say, hey, follow this, you'll lose
yeah,
10 kilos, I'll call you once a week. I
yeah,
don't do
yeah,
that. I'll
yeah,
like
yeah,
I want to share everything that I've got in here into you. It's a lot and I'll
yeah,
take a bit of time, but if you take at least half of it, you'll change your life.
yeah, absolutely.
And that I want to see that. I want to see you just change your life. I just want you to be like, you've completely changed it. I can't thank you enough, like, and it's mad. It does happen. I've got a few people that were type 2 diabetic, all off medication, not anymore. People with eczema, psoriasis for years, off medication, completely gone. That stuff is what hits hard, where you're just like, mad.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you
awesome.
you you guys have been to the doctors. The doctors have said, yeah, you've got it. You're gonna have to take medication for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
And you see the progress and the journey that these people go through and the pain that they've been suffering, and you help them. You get all their issues in remission, and that's something that's like life changing. You know what I mean?
mm, mm, mm.
It's mad, bro. You just you $1 million couldn't even put a price on it.
You know, I want to ask you: does your experiences going through, you know, with the drugs and, you know, your experiences in life in general, do you feel like that helps you connect with, you know, your clients, and are you able to use your anecdote in your story to help others? Do you feel like you're doing that as well?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I've never stepped shy of or hidden what's happened. I don't.
Mm,
I just put a post yesterday because it was posted in the Daily Telegraph, and another
Oh yeah.
couple of other articles. I don't shy away from it. I
Mm,
People need to understand that my story and other people have stories. Everyone has stories. You can help people through your story,
yeah.
and that's what I've learned. Yes, I done wrong, and I'm not saying that's what you got to do, but that that for me had to happen. I had to go to jail, and I've always said it,
Yeah.
because if
Mm,
I
mm.
didn't go to jail, I would have, I wouldn't be here. I know that for a fact, and I've said it many
Yeah.
times on my
Yeah.
podcast. I was
Yeah.
super unhealthy. I wasn't here. Multiple times try to take my life. So for me,
Mm,
it was a blessing to go there, for that to happen, to make me have a realization to get a second chance.
mm, mm.
That was a second chance in the world. To get the next chance was to continue to be out here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now provide a service for people. So it's a blessing for me. It was a blessing for me for this to happen, and
Mm,
now it's
mm. That's
just,
awesome, man.
yeah, just give it all back.
Mm, mm, mm. And now you're in I guess now you're in the nutrition space and
Mm,
whatnot. Um, People hear about drug addiction, people hear about alcohol addiction. They don't really talk about food addiction
mm,
and carb addiction. I don't know if you know what your thoughts are around that, but I want to hear it actually. But me personally, I didn't think carb addiction was a real thing. I thought it was
mm.
just stupid. Like, how could you be addicted to carbohydrates? That's it's everywhere. Like it's legal stuff. Like you can go to the supermarket, get yourself a loaf of bread, and how can this innocent little thing be um something we can consider something we can be addicted with. And I don't work in health. I work as a registered nurse, so it never clicked to me that it you can get addicted to carbohydrates until I went carnivore.
Yeah,
um what are your thoughts around this whole addiction space with food?
someone else would call me.
It's all good. Yeah, all good.
um, I agree, and I always say same thing. Sugar is a drug. It
Yeah.
is a drug, because you get withdrawals, you get cravings. There's no difference
Yes.
between that and a normal drug. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have the same issues, the same problems if you try and come off it. It's the
Mm-mm.
same. Um,
Yeah.
so I've witnessed it. I've witnessed it through clients where people. I've got clients that have struggled really bad with cravings.
Mm.
They had jitters all the time, shaking, lightheaded, because of just coming off it. This was someone who was severe with taking cans of soft drink every day, anywhere between 5 to 6
Yeah.
cans a day. So it's a
Yeah. Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that alone, just like, I didn't think she could break free from it, but she did. But
Yeah.
just the symptoms was
Yeah.
literally drug
Same.
addiction
Yeah.
symptoms. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
exactly the same that what she went through, the detoxing process, the withdrawals, everything. It was exactly the same, and that's how I know, through experience or client's experience. That's how you know it is.
Yeah, yeah. I tell people, yeah, look, it's an addictive substance, and if you
Mhm.
don't believe me, hop off the carbohydrates for 1 2 days, and if you've been, if you've been eating it all your life, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to just get rid of it all in one go, and I guess it opens up people's eyes when they even put two and two together, because it actually really, really makes sense when you realize that you do not need a single gram of carbohydrates in that you need to put through your system because you make your own carbs.
Mm.
And once people, or I guess once that message sinks in and they witness it for themselves, it's like, all right, yeah, it seems like carb addiction is a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
that,
yeah. Sorry, go on.
yeah, the hardest thing is too is like when you explain it to them, they don't grasp it. But the easiest thing I found is like, you know what, just do me a favor, just try it, just do a couple of
Yeah,
days.
yeah. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no point me explaining to it. You're not going to understand it. But if you go through it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just
Yeah.
try it for a week if you can go for a week. If you can do 3 or 4 days, give it a go. Let me know what happens. I know you're not understanding it, but just give it a go because you will come back with some feedback.
Yeah, yeah. And I through my experiences as well, like I've never claimed to be perfectly 100% carnivore in my 3 years of doing this.
Yeah,
When I have a little bit of carbs, and if I've, indulged in something, even if it's, like say my daughter, she feeds me Oreo cookies.
yeah,
Oh shit. I'll gobble the whole pack. I'm in. Like I feel like, I've had the hit. I'm just gonna go in. It's only one packet.
yeah,
And you feel like shit afterwards, but then your mind kicks in and you think, okay, I'll hold off like that. That's not good. Like that. I'm not doing that again. Never doing that again. Next day I'm craving more carbohydrates because oh look, I admit it as well. Like I was very addicted to carbohydrates
mm,
in my younger youthful years.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. That we have to point it out to people.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
you know, it is crazy, but it's not because it's we haven't been taught. Do you know what I mean? We didn't
No,
get
no.
it sucks. And it's just like you and me. We didn't know years ago. We've only learnt
Yeah, yeah.
recently. So is it anyone's fault? No, but it's just
No,
it's
no,
just
absolutely
it's
not.
a shame in the system in the world that the way it is that it shouldn't have it should never have got to that. And unfortunately that's the way the world is.
I know.
Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, same thing. Like I've experimented with food. I like to do a lot of tests on myself, case
Mm-mm.
studies and things like that. Because you want to see how the body reacts. You want to see how, we've done carnivore for so long. How's it going to respond now to these other foods we put in? I like to see what happens, and I've tried it. I feel absolute fucked. Like
Yeah.
I've I've tried to incorporate a rice or a pasta again. Shit straight away.
Yeah.
Within,
Yeah.
not even finishing the meal. Instantly bloated, huge extension in the stomach from the bloating, feel shit. I don't want to finish the meal. Um the next day, probably the next 24 hours or 38 hours, feel like I've just continually ate. I haven't eaten, but it just feels like I've just eaten for 2 days. It just feels shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
normally what I
Yeah.
do is I just go on a 6 day fast
You're gonna go fast?
straight away because I
Yeah.
can't get rid of
Yeah.
the feeling. It makes me feel crap. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
no food for 4 days.
Yeah. Just
I've done it heaps.
detox it
I've
out of your
tried to,
system.
yeah. I've tried to see what's work. I've even sweets and desserts, same thing. Just feel shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just feel shit. You don't get that satisfaction back when you used to, when you thought it was nice and good, and nothing now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No.
shit
No.
ass. Um,
That's awesome.
yeah. So do a lot of that. I do have a little experiment coming up with another good mate of
Ooh.
mine, which is another coach, a bodybuilder coach.
Ooh.
We're going to try and uh, collaborate in a way. Your standard bodybuilder, 4 to 6 meals a day, count your macros and your calories,
Yeah.
but we're going to try and do it strictly on a carnivore diet. So I'll get
Ah.
into, yeah. So we'll do everything that he would for a bodybuilder prep contest.
Yeah.
You know, track the macros, the calories, try and get all the food in, but I'm gonna just do it from the red meat.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to document it. We're going to, do our blood count. We're going to see, what
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
happens. Can you really get in, that 4,000 calories from just red meat? Or you're
Yeah.
going to struggle, like all these things. So we're really going to put it to the test, how it would work.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty keen on that, to be honest.
Yeah. I'll follow that definitely. See
Yeah.
how things track along. Yeah, you're brave for doing that. I don't know if I could cram all that food in, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, we
Yeah.
know we probably can't cram it in. So um, whether we might manipulate it by having either adding honey or maybe blueberries, just see how the body reacts, trying to get those extra carbs in. I want to track it with a blood glucose monitor as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Um, I don't know what your take is on honey and those
Yeah, yeah.
simple fruits.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen a lot of carnivores say like no sugar is sugar, like it's no good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of people saying, well, like honey is like, ancient food, like it's
Yeah, yeah.
magical stuff. What's your take on that?
Oh man. So for me, I don't have honey or any fruits,
Yep.
not because I don't think you should. Look, at the end of the day, whatever I think shouldn't matter to the individual who takes on whatever I say. Like, my opinion doesn't matter. You can eat whatever you want to eat.
Mm.
For me personally, I choose not to eat honey or fruits because if I have even a little bit of it, like I told you, I had a little bit of Oreo, it just sends me in a shitstorm. I'm I can't. I have to abstain. Otherwise, I can't control my eating habits. Um, but in terms of okay, so in terms of in generalization, honey, it does have carbohydrates in it. It does
Mm.
have fructose and it does have glucose.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are going to incorporate it in your diet, just know that potentially there could be that spike in blood sugar levels um, that may or may not be detected in your glucose monitor.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you aren't sort of see the thing people don't realize is that carnivore doesn't just mean it's an all meat diet.
Yeah.
People think it's just meat. You can't do that in nature. It's impossible. A lion doesn't just eat meat. There's going to be grass in that meat. They observe in nature these so-called carnivores that eat or ingest some plant matter. It's impossible to be 100% carnivore. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what's that different to us? Um, Sorry, I'm getting a little bit off track here, but yeah, there is a spectrum in terms of what is considered carnivore. Like if people say a carnivore diet is 70% meat and animal products or 80%, whatever the range is, so long as you're not, dousing yourself in 200 grams, 300 grams of honey, I think you're
Yeah.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. About 50 grams of honey or fruits, and that might not be every day. That could be every second day.
Yeah.
That's nothing. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think.
That's right. Yeah, because I've seen a few people do. Obviously, I'm a big believer in spiking your insulin, so you want to try and not
Yeah.
spike it, keep it to the lowest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's weird because I've seen people say with watermelon, right?
Yeah.
92% water. I like to call it structured water, H3O2.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen people eat watermelon for a month and they have a blood glucose monitor and it not spike it at all. So they were in
No.
ketosis and they're fat
Yeah.
burning. But then I've seen
Yeah.
someone else do it and it spikes their insulin through the roof.
Yeah.
So then it starts making me think, okay, does every human body process food completely different?
Absolutely. Yeah.
To You know what I mean? So then it goes, okay, so then everything, something that's going to be your diet is going to affect me differently.
Mm,
Is that really the process now? Where I don't know if
mm,
people really have dived into that or really believe
mm,
that
mm.
or seen studies and things like that, which I think will be really good to get an idea of myself.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Doing that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm keen. I'm keen to see what happens, the results, where we can see some things that can work, won't work, and things like that. So I'm keen. He's keen as well because he's never really done anything like this. You know, he's your
Is he
typical.
carnivore as well?
No, so he's a pro bodybuilder.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a pro bodybuilder. Very very big name. Just won his titles a couple of weeks ago. So
Nice.
that's what I was saying. Like it's going to be a really cool experiment to
Yeah, yeah.
implement, to see, um, sort of see what happens. So yeah, we're keen to do that, and it's just something something to put out there for the carnivore community.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that, you know, I always get that question saying, oh, am I eating too much? Am I not eating? Oh, what about my calories and things like that? So it sort of will, I guess, enlighten some people with that sort of aspect. Because I
Yeah.
always get, oh, I'm eating too much. I'm like, you're not. I said, there's no way. I said, like, I said, if you wake up in the morning, have a steak, and then go have a steak at lunch, I was like, I don't really think you're going to have another steak for dinner. I think you're pretty full.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Majority of the time you're full, or you're going to be like, I'll have half of what I'm normally going to have. I was like, you're probably going to be under eating, or you'll be like pretty smack on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it?
It is funny. I think, it's a bit of conditioning as well. Like if you've been eating, a standard Western diet for so long, and you jump into this new concept of only eating meat. At first I thought it was eating too much. I thought that
Mm.
this is crazy that I'm I'm doing these 2 meals, 2 meals a day, and then going to OMAD. I would, I typically eat, if I'm eating a steak, it's about 700 grams
Yeah,
for an OMAD. And I'm a small dude. I'm 5'4", and about 60, 64, 65 kilos.
yeah,
That's huge for me. But now I think, that's what my body craves for. See, the thing is, the way I tell people is that you've got this inbuilt system that tells you exactly how much you need to eat. And
mm,
if you feed it the right fuel and you let your body get into a rhythm where you are constantly using this fuel, i.e. fat or proteins, it knows what to do because, hey, as a lot of people in the carnivore community have been saying, this is the way we're designed to eat.
mm,
So, and there's evidence through, our history, our evolution as humans.
yeah,
So it makes sense that if you're geared to, utilize fats for your main source of energy, and you obviously need protein because you need it for structure.
mhm.
Well, your body knows what to do with it. When you start throwing in carbs in the mix, like you're throwing in 20 grams, 30 grams each meal, that's kind of skew whiffs your hormones a little bit there. And now you start to crave a little bit more because you're using a lot more,
Yeah,
you're tapping into that source where you are using glucose for your source of energy. And,
yeah,
your body wants to try and get rid of that as soon as possible because anyone knows in the health space that, glucose at a threshold can be toxic. So
hmm,
your body tries to get rid of it.
yeah,
And so now you're fighting against your biology, or I wouldn't say fighting against biology. You're using this fuel source that's, you know we're not geared to use. I mean, we're not optimally geared to use because once upon
yeah.
a time we
Without
probably did use it.
it's not the optimal fuel source.
Yeah, it's not the optimal fuel source, no. And so, yeah, it makes sense that when you are eating meat and fat and steaks and whatnot, your body tells you that's enough. Like you're full, stop eating. Have you ever tried to stuff yourself after you say you're done?
you, yeah, when you're on the carnivore, yeah, you're done. Like,
Oh, I've tried, and no, no, no. My body's gonna tell me no. Get the fuck out of here. Stop eating.
yeah,
This is like it's too much.
I'm
Like
done, proper
I,
done.
I really can't put another spoonful in my mouth because if I have another one, I'm chucking up. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
But then when you do
Yeah.
that with carbs, you can still somehow fit it in.
Oh no, man. Oh, I can fit it in. If I'm having a whole pizza. I'm ordering 2 boxes of Dominoes. That's me. Like
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know.
And then even when you get bloated, when you get sick, you just like, one more.
Yeah, yeah.
One more.
It's
It just
crazy.
still goes in.
Yeah.
It just
All
keeps
right, brother.
going in.
We're an hour into it. Hey, so I just want to say thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. This is only a very small platform. I don't have many viewers, but I'm still very committed in getting the message out there, no matter who's listening. I think this is a wonderful thing, being connected with others who are like-minded and are on this similar path. So,
Mm.
yeah, thanks, mate. Thank you for your time.
No, sweet. Thank you. Thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate it. Good to meet you. Good to connect as well in the community, like you said, and
Yeah,
share that message. Because it only takes one person to say this. So one changing one person's life is one person
yeah,
better. You know.
absolutely. So it, can you plug away your social medias? Where can people find you, and also your if you want to share anything about your coaching, who do you want to target and reach out? All that jazz.
Yeah, sweet. So you can find me on Instagram. I am Ivy Sardi. Same with TikTok. I am Ivy Sardi. My Facebook is Ivy Sardi. I basically focus on helping people that have serious conditions, health conditions, psoriasis, eczema, got autoimmune through carnivore animal-based diet. And obviously, I target a lot with heavy metal detox and parasites, and all in one package. So it's a good little thing that I've created to really help people that have tried everything, from the doctors, from the medications. So it's definitely something to look into. So happy to help anyone who needs.
Awesome stuff. Well, anyways, guys and girls who've been watching, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next live stream.
Yeah, sweet.
See ya.
See you, right. That's mad.